everything gets worse and it gets relentless and it doesn't let up. And you're like, what the hell is going wrong? And just when you feel like you got through grieving one thing or being upset about something or mad about something, or finally like rationalized it in your brain and like came up for air again and like stopped feeling like you were in a spiral, you get hit again. You're getting knocked down, like wave after wave after wave keeps knocking you down. And you're thinking, I can't handle anymore. God, universe, please stop. Please, I can't handle anymore. That was me, you guys. I was like, please, like, I get it. Like, I know I'm strong and I know there's lessons in here that you're wanting me to experience. And I'm not trying to say like I deserve to have this life that doesn't have anything happen. Like, obviously we know a lot of shit's happened to me, but I can't take anymore. I'm not going to be able to make it. Like, this is just too fucking much. I know you feel like you're going insane right now, that nothing is working out. And just when you think you're getting a client or you think that money's coming in or an opportunity falls through and it's like, what the heck is happening? And I've been going through this for so long. And when is it going to end? And then you're asking the universe to throw you a bone. You're praying to God. Things need to get better. And it's feeling more chaotic and you're having these weird symptoms and you're starting to even question like, am I actually going crazy for real this time? What feels like this chaos, this resistance, this push-pull, or even failure is the collapse of your old timeline, your old identity. You're not stuck, you're quantum leaping into the greatest timeline jump of your life. In today's episode, I'm going to help you recognize what's really happening beneath the surface while everything feels off before it finally clicks, and what's waiting for you on the other side of this jump. Because I actually know I just went over the crest of all of it, and you'll hear it in my story. And what is waiting for you will make it all worth it, but it doesn't mean it's not going to be less painful. Let's get into it. What up, my people, my posse, my fellow crazies? It's your host, Tiffany Carter, and this is the show that is going to help you grow your business, your bank account, that big, beautiful brain of yours, your relationships, your abundance, and everything in between. I'd like to add that this episode is going to highly validate you that you are not officially going crazy, but I completely get that's how you feel. I made a promise before I hit record that I was going to do this straight through no matter what comes out of my mouth. I was resisting doing this episode. I've done quite a few videos and most all of them have gone viral on TikTok. I'm at ProjectME with Tiffany on TikTok. It's the same handle as I have on Instagram at ProjectME with Tiffany. Those are linked right in my show notes when you swipe up, and on any of the emails I send you. There are tons of scammers pretending to be me on both platforms, which is infuriating. And I want to reiterate something to you. I've said it before. I will never cold message you. I will never try to get you on WhatsApp or some third-party app like Telegram. And I will certainly never try to sell you something in that way, let alone Bitcoin, because I don't even understand Bitcoin. All right? So I want you to report those people when you see them. So when you go to my TikTok, and you need to go to it, especially after listening to this episode, I've done videos on the signs and symptoms that you are about to have the biggest timeline jump of your life. This is going to validate you even further. There are literally hundreds of thousands of people who have reacted, who have shared, who have saved, who have commented on these videos collectively because they're all experiencing the same thing, and so am I. And you want to know why? And I am glad this is going to be out here and documented for history, because as a Virgo, I love being right. So I'm going to come back to this episode and go, see, I told you guys. I feel those of us who are awake, those of us who've done the healing work and continue to do it, those of us who have gifts, who are healers, who have big hearts, who care in the world, those of us who have empathy, we are being called as a collective to rise, because our world is in trouble. Our world is in more pain than ever and more chaos than ever. And that is also why you're feeling internally chaotic. That is why your brain is ping-ponging all over the place on a rapid level. That's why you're experiencing really weird symptoms. You're having digestive issues, sleeping issues. One day you're so exhausted you can barely function. The next day you're almost like you're manic, and it's not typical and you can't explain it. You're getting really weird tics like eye twitching, ear ringing. You're having even kind of like shaky hands if you're watching here on ProjectME TV on YouTube. And it's not from me being over machadized, okay? Like I was a little bit earlier because I woke up completely flatlined. Like I wanted to stick my entire body in an electrical socket. And I was like, this is weird because I have amazing sleep hygiene. And I felt like I slept last night. It's not like I had some PTSD night terrors, which does happen. But I slept and I went, this is part of it. And I want to remind you of that. And the intrusive thoughts, your brain is going to get very manipulative, very creative, very cunning in gaslighting you to prevent you from going on this timeline jump, to prevent the quantum leap from occurring, because your nervous system and your ego reads that as dangerous because it's not been there before. That's a big fucking journey. And I'm going to share with you the timeline jump that I just went through. I'm just on the crest on the other side of it, which is why I recorded those videos. I recorded what I wish someone was telling me going through it. Because listen, I damn near lost it in 2025. I'm talking, I was barely holding it together. If it wasn't for all of the healing work I do, the fact that I make a point of investing in my own coaches and a therapist, having a team of people around me, I don't know. I was holding on by a thread a lot of times. Like I actually thought like, okay, I know I'm already unwell in the mind. I might need to be institutionalized. And I'm not saying it even jokingly. Like I had these thoughts. It was so loud in there and I can't make up. I was getting hit after whack after whack. I had betrayals. I had people who I thought I could totally trust, who were in my corner, who were going to be in my life for the rest of my life, absolutely betray me. I had people who worked for me who I thought actually like gave a shit, just truly not give a shit at all. And I was very, very wrong. And that shooketh me. I had people who I thought were true supporters and cheerleaders who turned resentful, and I had given them tons and tons of clients, and a majority of their business and the money they were making were from the referrals I was sending because I like spreading the wealth. And it was like a resentment got turned. They didn't like that most of their income was from referrals. It's like, listen, you want to send me referrals, honey? I welcome that. But that's their journey. That was happening. My mom and whomever on her team went to sue me for the book. And then that brought up a bunch of stuff. And then we had the fires here and then all the fucking hijinks of the world. And then my body was like going, it was like morphing. And the thing that went really crazy on TikTok, which I actually was like, oh my God, should I even share this? Is me talking about shape shifting. And if you've never heard of it, when I share this with you, it might sound wackadoo to you, because if someone told me this even 2 years ago, I would have listened with like an open-mindedness, but I've been like low key, like you're a little whack. Every time you look in the mirror, you look different. You almost don't recognize yourself, even from one day to the next, even in 4-hour periods. So I obviously see a lot of myself because I do a lot of video content. I'm on video right now, whether I want to see a lot of myself or not. And I'll look 10 years older. I'll look 10 years younger. I'll look 30, 40 pounds heavier. Then I'll look snatched. I'll look super dehydrated and like wrinkly. And then I'll look dewy and glowy. It's insanity. And it's like, is that me? Why do I look like this? What's going on? This is really weird. And almost not fully recognizing myself and like seeing another version of me when I look in the mirror. That is because you are going into a new identity. That is because you're timeline jumping. And people went nuts. People were like, this is so validating. This is what I'm experiencing. And I'm sharing this so that you can be validated, because the hardest part when you're going through a timeline jump, and this is my third one that I'm aware of. There might have been some that have happened that I was not aware of, which is possible. But since I've been doing all of this work where I was cognizant of it, this is my third. And I've obviously coached over 150,000 people at this point in running two businesses for 18 years and all walks of life that I've navigated clients and students of mine through it and friends of mine. And these are the classic signs and symptoms. It's like everything gets worse and it gets relentless and it doesn't let up. And you're like, what the hell is going wrong? And just when you feel like you got through grieving one thing or being upset about something or mad about something, or finally like rationalized it in your brain and like came up for air again and like stopped feeling like you were in a spiral, you get hit again. You're getting knocked down, like wave after wave after wave keeps knocking you down. And you're thinking, I can't handle anymore. God, universe, please stop. Please, I can't handle anymore. That was me, you guys. I was like, please, like, I get it. Like, I know I'm strong and I know there's lessons in here that you're wanting me to experience. And I'm not trying to say like I deserve to have this life that doesn't have anything happen. Like, obviously we know a lot of shit's happened to me, but I can't take anymore. I'm not going to be able to make it. Like, this is just too fucking much. And if you're someone who's been listening, you follow along where I share all the behind the scenes on Instagram at ProjectME with Tiffany, you're like, but girl, you were like gallivanting and luxuriating in Europe. And then you went to Whitefish, Montana and we're hanging out on the lake. And then you went to Abundance Island. And it's like, let me tell you something. I almost didn't go on that European trip. I was really unwell. And thank God my coach and my therapist are like, no, you have to go. You need to go. You have to like leave the energy of the United States. Like, you need to go and do that for yourself. That has to happen. I didn't think I even had it in me to go and do something like that. And I was in Montana for a dear client and friend's wedding. So I would have never missed that. And that ended up being so therapeutic and quiet and being in nature. And that had to happen for me. I had moments like of enjoyment. It's not like I didn't have any of that, but there was this overall heaviness. And just when I would get through something happening, something else would happen. And I really didn't have that much to give. And when you're at that point, I promise you, you're getting very, very close to that timeline jump. You're getting close to the quantum leap. What's the difference? A timeline jump is when you're prepping. It's like the prep phase for the quantum leap. The quantum leap is the destination. That's when the thing has occurred. That's when you have arrived. The timeline jump is you are traveling. Think of energetically, cellularly, biologically, hormonally. How much is happening in your internal system to you energetically when you are you're going to another timeline. You are, so to speak, what would have taken you maybe 10 years to get to can happen within weeks. And you are shaving off so much time. So the last one that I had, and sometimes you can have these things happen like in succession. Like my last timeline jump was not that long ago. And it happened in 2023. I went on TikTok for the first time, like to take it seriously, where I wasn't called to do that before. It felt like more work. In fact, I was kind of resentful that now there's another app and we have to put out more content on there. And as someone who loves creating content and loves creating content for you guys, and I teach that, and my main business model of marketing and promoting and showcasing my business, my offers, my brand building community is content, it's a lot of content. It was like, now there's more I have to do. But I felt this sharp knowing of, you know what, it's time. I'm going to do it. There were so many of you who were like, girl, you're going to crush TikTok. You need to get on TikTok. You need to get TikTok. Okay. And my stubborn ass finally did it. And there's a separate podcast episodes on this. Within 6 weeks, I went mega viral. And it literally 6 weeks. And it wasn't me posting new videos. One thing about me as a business strategist is I always come up with a way that is easier and faster and more simple if it exists. If it does not exist, I fucking create it. And if it is like, no, this best practice, this one thing has to be a little tedious or hard, I'll always tell you. And then we just suck it up and do it. But for the most part, I can always find a different way, which is why I am teaching all of this to you, how to sell at volume, how to get higher numbers of people to see your stuff, the right people who are eager and excited to buy from you inside Selling at Scale. This is my 5-week live program. This is the only time it's going to be taught 100% live, like every single module in this founders round. This is when you're wanting to have in-person events, online events, group coaching programs. You have digital courses. You're selling physical products. You're wanting to get a lot of people, not just some people trickling here and there, not just focusing on one-on-one stuff. You are wanting to really be able to work less and make more. You're wanting to leverage your time to be able to help more people, but without you always having to be involved. That is what Selling at Scale is designed to do. And you need to get in here, okay? Because these spots are filling up fast. We don't take hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people in this program because it's a high touch group coaching program, okay? And we want to stay in integrity with that. You get also Coach Tiff AI that we've been developing for 2 years. This is crazy accurate. I'll write your content for you. I'll give you your hook lines. I'll do your sales pages. I'll help you brainstorm the titles of your things, all based on my emotional-based sales techniques that are proven, that I'm famous for, that are responsible for over $260 million in sales transaction at your fingertips 24/7. You get that with the pay in full option. That's the only way to get Coach Tiff AI right now. And there are dozens of people who have already said, and I've been posting it, that, oh my God, just for Coach Tiff AI, this is worth it. And I have payment plans and other options in there. But truly, you've got to look at it like this. If you don't know how to get more people buying from you repeatedly so you can make much bigger money, then why wouldn't you have me teach you the income generating skills that you need to learn and you need to practice and you need to implement in order for that to happen? Plus, it's a tax deduction because you're actually doing something that is designed for you to bring in income for your business. Like you're getting certified in this stuff. So you also will get, and this is for the pay in full option, another live masterclass with me that actually this is the last day to be able to get it live. You'll still get access to the replay, but you want to get this right now. It's the 7 shifts to turn your video into a client generating machine without losing your authenticity. What to say, how to say it, visually what to do. There's these different psychological components that will make people compelled to buy from you, but without any manipulation or gimmicky stuff. I've been doing video for many, many, many years now, and I break it down into the 7 shifts that you can implement right away. You also get how to build a 6-figure membership for any type of business model. Okay. And so much more. Go to the page where all the details, reviews, everything are in there. And to join us, it's projectmewithtiffany.com/selling at scale. Swipe up. The link is inside the show notes here on Apple, Spotify, wherever you're listening. And on YouTube, it's here in the description. Do not wait. We are in the most high income generating season of the year online, where literally trillions of dollars in sales transactions will happen globally between now and the end of the year. Don't you want a micro fraction of that pie, that big old fat, juicy, delicious money pie? And making $100,000 is not unreasonable. Okay. And that's a micro fraction. I think you forget that there are billions of your people to sell to. You don't need to have thousands of people necessarily buying from you. I mean, the math that I shared in the mastermind, I think I still have the notes here. Hopefully I do, so I don't have to do math in my head. You have $197 offer. You need 508 buyers in order for you to make that. A $497 offer, you just need 201 buyers. You're telling me you can't get 201 people excited to buy from you? And you do something a little higher, like 997, you need 101 people to buy from you. That's it. Between now and the end of the year for you to make 100 grand. This these aren't this isn't thousands and thousands of people that are needed, but what you do need are the skills to be able to do it. And that's exactly what I teach you in Selling at Scale. You cobbling around and trying this and trying that, and I'll just post more, and I'm going to try to go viral, and then I'll send some emails. That's going to get you cobblestone cash, baby. And we want the sweet money pie. All right. And if that's what you want, and you want to be able to help more people, then this is exactly how you're going to do it. You get lifetime access to this program as well. You know where to go, projectmewithtiffany.com/selling at scale. We are being collectively called to rise. We have to be put in a position of discomfort, in a position of pain, in a position where we are so itchy that we have no choice but to move. That is why you're so uncomfortable right now. That is part of the jump. It's a timeline jump. You literally are saying, fuck it, let's go. Picture yourself standing, at the top of a mountain, and you're like, okay, I have a parachute, but I don't really know how great of a parachute it is. I've never jumped from anything this high before. I hope this thing works. And I'm afraid, but I think it's going to work, and I think I can trust the universe, and I think this is what I'm supposed to do. And you've got to get to your own fuck it point. And how do we get to our own fuck it point? We a lot of times need help, most of the time. And if you're stubborn like me, you really need help from God, from the universe, from your spirit guides, angels, whoever the hell, your entire committee, to where I have to feel so just almost miserable, where I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'm doing it. I'm jumping off this damn cliff, and this fucking parachute better open. And if it doesn't, I almost don't care. And I know that sounds like really dark, but I'm being serious. And I know there's enough of you who get what I'm talking about on here, where it's like, I can't live like this anymore, and this has to work, because you're in such resistance of the jump, because it's unfamiliar, and then you're not trusting what's going on. And the universe and God are like, you need to have faith in me. I've got you. I'm building your faith muscle right now. I'm making you this uncomfortable, so you finally set boundaries, so you finally choose yourself, so you finally invest in your growth, so you actually spend money to grow in your business, so you actually post the video, so you actually do the thing, so you finally believe in yourself, so you finally start prioritizing yourself over other people, so you finally get it together, so you finally go to the next level, so you finally say, you know what, I'm afraid of being seen at this level. This seems scary, but I'm doing it anyway. That's what I mean by you're being primed, you're being positioned for that timeline jump. That's why it is so uncomfortable. And I know some of you listening are very close to the fuck it point, and I can't wait for you to get there. It is almost like a true break, and a switch goes off. And that's what happened to me. So let's go back to the last timeline jump that I had, and then I'm going to talk about what's going on in this recent one that's really fresh. So I went mega viral on TikTok. I'm talking nonstop, millions. I was shooketh, and I ended up in a field position rocking. I had no idea that I had a fear of being seen at that level. Who would have thought I had a fear of being seen? I'm already so public. It was a new level. And look at how many people have spent years, you might be one of them, trying to gain traction on an app. And it all happened for me literally in 6 weeks. And it happened for me using old videos, back to me saying I needed to find a way that didn't create more work for me. And so when you ask yourself better questions, you get better answers. Clever questions get clever answers. Abundant questions get abundant answers versus, I don't know how I'm going to be able to afford it, or I don't know how I can ever have the time, or when I don't know how I'd be able to do that. Instead of going, How can I make this happen? You're going to automatically be creative and see other opportunities. And so that's what I've trained myself to do. I asked myself, how can we put out videos consistently on TikTok that we think could work for that platform without me having to create all fresh content right now? Because that just doesn't feel good to me. So we used old, if you who remembers IGTV, RIP IGTV, man. Wow, those are my biggest money makers. Those longer form videos on IGTV. I wish they never took those away. But thank God my digital hoarding ass saved all of those. And we repurposed those and put those out on TikTok. And that's what went mega viral. And the first video that went mega viral is pinned to the top of my page as like 3.5 million views. And of course, it was on Abundance Island. And that's a whole nother tie-in story that I've done an episode on, that where it shows the timeline of the jump and how everything you'll see when you're on the other side of it. And those of you who've experienced a timeline jump, you start seeing how all the pieces fit together. Oh, wow. That's so interesting. I could have never made that up. No, we couldn't have, because we're not in fucking control. But we think we are, because that's what our brain gaslights us to believe. We're not in control. We can control some things, but ultimately, we're not the one putting together the divine path. It's in an order and it's in a way that's beyond us. I would have had no idea. And the video that happened to go viral on top of it happened to mention the podcast. And so then what happened? Then my podcast, my baby that I've poured fucking into at that point and continue to, my heart, money, energy over and over. And it's not like it wasn't serving me. It was serving me and many other people in beautiful ways, but it wasn't like surging and like super topping the charts like other people's shows that, quite frankly, I was like, these are kind of basic and boring. Like, why are their shows having so much traction? Like, I had a lot of thoughts like that for sure. And I had thoughts like, when is it going to be my time? When is my show going to do that? Like, and I continue to show up regardless. And then overnight, my show went viral, many episodes, and not just one or two, over and over and over and over and over and over, became top 5 in 57 countries and growing. And then I started making $10,000 a day just from TikTok alone. No fucking joke. Without me using any extra time or bandwidth on my part. When I say a timeline jump, that could have taken me years to get there. And I'd already put in years, so to speak, in content creation, because I started in like June 2018. So I already put in time and I already reaped rewards and abundance from that. Absolutely. But it put me so far ahead. I leaped ahead. And then then I had to process all of that happening. It felt like I was in the middle of a tornado. It was insane. And then I had to hire experts to help me manage all of that, because I'm in a new body. I'm in a completely new energy, and being able to get around that. And that's the other part, is why isn't it here yet? Why are your manifestations not here, what you're wanting? Because something else, something even better is being put together for you. Something is working already. It's already happening, and you're being prepared for it. Because if you get that abundance before you're primed and prepared, you will not be able to hold on to it. And I'll be straight up with you. I could not hold on to, at that time, what was given to me. I was white knuckling it. I was holding on by a goddamn thread. Okay. And now I got put into a position where I can even feel I've been shifted internally, and I feel a grounded energy of I can hold this much greater level of abundance, of being seen and everything that comes along with that. I have that now. But that first timeline jump had to happen first to see, hey, you got some cracks in here you got to work on, or this isn't going to be cute. And I had to experience that too. And so all this stuff that happened in 2025 It was really having me lean into my faith, trust in myself, remind myself I'm not in control. I know the divine is at work here. I was left with no choice but to surrender. And you can't half surrender, by the way. It doesn't work. I've tried it. Like a contingency surrender, where it's like one eye open, one eye closed. Like, well, I'll jump off this cliff, but only if for sure I know the parachute is going to come out. I will jump off this cliff as long as I know once I get down to the ground, there's a reward for me. That is not surrendering. Surrendering is I'm jumping off this cliff. I'm scared and I'm doing it. And I'm trusting that you've got me, universe. You've got me, God. I'm going to have faith and I'm doing it. And I'm doing it and I'm terrified and I'm doing it anyway. And when you reach that point is when you set yourself free. And when you reach that point and it's not for a minute and then it goes away, you reach it and you hold it. That's a true surrender. That's when the jump occurs. When you let go of the how, you let go of the timing, you trust what's being put in front of you is being put in front of you for a reason. You lean in, you take the actions that seem scary, the actions that seem illogical, the actions that terrify you because you're operating out of a place of trust and going, I'm trusting that this will work and it's not all about me. And I'm going to get out of my own way and I'm going to show up and do the things and have a grounded peace about it because there isn't anything more that you can do. And truly, I'm in the middle of launching, right, my new program, Selling at Scale. And this is the stuff that I work with you on as well inside the program is that if you do not have your energy managed and your mind managed in combination with the strategy and the skill, you are fucketh. You're not just fucked. You are fucketh because you will get sick. You will spiral out. You will crash out. You will take your foot off the gas when it's not looking how you think it should look. You'll be so dependent on external factors to validate you. And you're not going to fucking get those. There's quiet periods in the launch where it's kind of crickety, where no one's really buying and you've got to keep showing up. It's very, very vulnerable. You know, it's vulnerable to continue to put out content when you don't feel like that many people are watching. And then you look at other people's, it seems like everyone is watching them. It brings up all sorts of stuff, but that stuff that's being brought up and why it's not manifesting, why the numbers aren't manifesting, why you're not making the money, you're not getting the views, you don't have the engagement, blah, 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 is because there's stuff that you need to work on within yourself. You need to work on trusting yourself. You need to work on showing up regardless. You need to work on detachment and not being so needy for external validation of numbers and money to continue to show up and do your thing. You need to get out of your own way, and it's pushing you to actually get help and work with someone like me and learn the skills and not be a cheap ass. And I don't just mean cheap in money. Okay. And listen, I've been a cheap ass with my business before. So sometimes it is about being cheap. Like, I don't want to spend the money. I just spent money over here. I just spent money and I felt like I wasted over here. So I don't want to waste more money, or I'll wait until I'm bringing in more money. Well, working with me and waiting to bring in more money, you sound unwell because you work with me for me to show you how to make more money. You're actually cock blocking the cash by not doing that. It doesn't even make sense. But your brain is going to gaslight you into it sounding actually rational and reasonable in order for it to keep you in place and block you from your timeline jump. You see what I'm saying? It's like my resistance I had, and this is part of my glow up that occurred all during this timeline jump, is I really went all in very seriously about getting my hormones regulated and my gut bacteria in check, which was a fucking mess. And I didn't realize how important that was, and the inflammation and blah, 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 blah. And I was doing all that and I didn't feel I was getting the results. And I was like, this is bullshit. And I was paying the best of the best. I'm a very compliant patient. I was doing all the things. And truly, I was not seeing the results. And other people I knew who were on that journey were getting like major results, and I was starting to doubt myself and all of that. And I had to really step into a surrender. And it wasn't until I truly surrendered that the inflammation went down, that the weight fell off. That's when all of that started happening. I was holding on too tightly. We hold on to things too tightly. We actually block what we're wanting to have happen. And the universe is going to keep you stuck in that discomfort until you fucking surrender. And I'm including myself. I know it sounds like I might be yelling at you. I just want you to hear me, the real you, not your ego. The real you, I need you to hear me, because that what's waiting for you on the other side is incredible. I'm not saying everything is perfect, but now that I'm on the other side, I have a level of grounded peace, a grounded knowing. Is there discomfort? Sure. Is my ego doing popcorn stuff in my brain? Absolutely. But the undercurrent is, I trust that everything is really working out for my greatest good and the greatest good of all. And I really do mean that. And I really do feel that. And it's not really my business on what that looks like, right? Like I want certain numbers. I want certain things. We all do. Okay. But if I use an example, this might be a little weird, but go with me on it. It's the first one that came to my head, and I promised myself I wasn't going to overplan for this episode. My spiritual godmother, I call her. She's no longer on earth with us, but Louise Hay. Love her work. Love, love, love. Like she's like the one who started mirror work and all of that. She's lovely. And Louise Hay, one of her first books, it might even be her first. It wasn't even a book. It was more like a thick pamphlet called Heal Your Life. Highly recommended. You can probably even find a free PDF online. And she created this working with the gay population during like the peak of the HIV epidemic that was going on. And I believe it was in California that she was doing this work. And she created this type of like mini booklet where it tied affirmations with specific ailments that you were having, right? Like affirmations to speak love into your body and speak out stress in your body by doing them. So you can look up any ailment and there's an affirmation for it, which is really cool. And it's fucking scary accurate. Highly recommend you do it. Like I have like knee issues. Now it's not just because in college I taught step aerobics. Yes, I did. And I used 4 risers because I thought I was a badass and I had an exercise addiction. And the more risers, the more calories. And now my knees have no cartilage. But knee stuff represents being fear, scarcity, rigidity. Yep. And it's very accurate. My point in sharing this is she did this beautiful pamphlet style thing. And it's not like that's how everyone came to know Louise Hay, right? Like she's written so many other books, but something she started giving out for free during that time created momentum. And then all of a sudden she blew up. She wasn't sitting there going, and now I'm speaking for her, but my guess is she wasn't sitting here going, when am I going to get on the bestseller list? Why am I not on the bestseller? She wasn't on the bestseller list. Probably at that time it was like Joan Collins or whatever the fuck her name is, like some romance novel person was probably on the top of the list. You know, she wasn't like she was sitting there getting tons of press and everything like that. But she's someone who has impacted tens of millions of people all over the world, has a publishing house that still operates to this day with so many books and so many things in her legacy, and had a career that lasted beyond her death and still today. Where I was going with it is, when we focus on the immediate, I need to see this now. Where is this now? I want this now, now, now. Where's the money now, the time now? This needs to happening now. And we aren't just trusting that we're meant to do something bigger and pursue that and be in it for the long game. The universe is going to keep you in discomfort and pain until you wake up out of it and go, enough's enough. I'm doing it. And that's when the quantum leap happens. And it doesn't happen a minute sooner. And you can't force yourself there, but you can definitely work your way there. Okay. You can massage your way there, which is my goal of this episode. And so a couple things I want to leave you with. One, your priority is surrendering, trusting there's a power greater than you at work, and it's not all about you, and truly trusting in divine timing. And not sitting there in old stories and old things Not sitting in that, turning those over as well. And trusting that all these symptoms you're having, these thoughts you're having, how you're feeling in your body, you're not making this up. You are being called to rise. You are one of the chosen ones. We need you to rise. And I know it might be kind of hard for you to believe it. Like, is this really true? Is it me? Because you're wanting proof of it before you jump. You're wanting the proof of what's on the ground before you get there. You don't fucking get to have it. And neither do I. And believe me, I'm all about certainty. I'm an Enneagram 6. I would fucking love to know. You don't get to know. All you have to trust is whatever's waiting for you is here to serve you and is here to serve the greater good. And you're supported and you're secure and you're safe. That's what you can trust is there for you. And lean into that surrender and take action out of that surrender, knowing that you are going to be supported and abundant and safe. What action would you take for yourself moving towards the life that you want? What would you do? I asked myself that multiple times as I've been prepping for this launch, as we've been continuing building out Coach Tiff AI and doing all of this stuff behind the scenes. I wanted to pull back. My ego did several times. Ooh, you're putting a lot of money into this. What if you don't make this back? Is this really going to work? Is this really going to work? All that bullshit. I get all of that too. Doesn't matter that I have an evidence bank of all the times it pays off. You want to know what? I also have an evidence bank of all the times it hasn't, because that's the reality of life. And anyone who tells you they don't have an evidence bank, who's like truly been an entrepreneur a long time and really at it, and anyone who claims that they don't have an evidence bank of all the times that it also hasn't paid off is fucking lying. And they just don't want to tell you because they don't think it sounds attractive and therefore you won't buy from them. Not everything I touch turns to gold. Not everything any major company, even trillion-dollar companies. It doesn't matter how much money you have and you have the best of the best consultants. It's just not how it works. You have to be willing to experiment. You have to be willing to take enough of those jumps and trust that the things that don't work, the landings that feel hard, the landings that are painful, those are also purposeful. Those are all part of it. It's not like, oh man, like I crashed. This didn't work out well. I paid for this thing and I didn't get that much out of it. I hired this person. I didn't learn anything. That was all in divine order too. That's all. I've done all of that too. That's all part of it. Sometimes it's there to teach you why you're so needed in your space is because there's a lot of people who are full of shit and we need more good people. Sometimes it's so you can reflect on yourself that you were looking for a shortcut and you were looking for a get rich quick and you were looking for like an easy way to avoid doing, the real work, the stuff that actually works. And you were looking for a way around that in some area of your life, and you had to get stung by it and bit by it enough times for you to go, okay, I'm ready to actually really take my business seriously now. Okay, I'm going to take my health really seriously. I'm not going to try to look for some fucking gimmick here, some hack. You have to be humble and have humility. And some of the things that have happened to you and are happening to you is because you need to be humbled and have humility. That is part of what happened to me this year. And that doesn't mean I was sitting here like all high and mighty. I needed a level of humility for me to develop a deeper relationship with God, with the universe, with spirit. I was a little pulled back from it. I had a relationship, but it wasn't as deep as what I needed in order for me to have the quantum leap, because that's going to require next level faith, next level patience, next level groundedness, next level self-belief, next level strength of mind in order for me to be able to hold that wealth, that container, that visibility, and have that capacity and to call in the support that is needed. I had to have all those things developed. And just as we're developing muscles in a gym, you get sore. Sometimes you get injured. It's painful. It's uncomfortable. Sometimes you kind of like it. A lot of times you kind of don't, and you don't want to keep doing it. It can be tedious. That's exactly what's happening to you. Let me know if this resonated with you. Take a screenshot, share this episode. Please share this with someone who feels like they're going through it right now. I guarantee you there's someone who's being called, and trust that. You're not delulu in an unhealthy way. It's really happening, and believe it. Believe it even though you can't see it. Trust it even though it's not here yet. Because anything else, you have yourself wrestling in purgatory, and you're going to keep in this messy middle state so much longer than you need to, which is what I did in 2025. So try not to do what I did. Don't do what Coach Tiff did. I was really wrestling with it. And now I can exhale. I promise what's waiting for you on the other side is glorious. I really hope that you make a choice to join me selling at scale in this 5-week live experience. Only time this is going to be taught live ever in the founders round. I don't offer this program for an entire another year. It's only a once a year thing, and you get lifetime access. And if you're feeling called to take your business bigger, to start your business on a bigger level, to actually learn the skills that work, that the more you practice them, the more money you make. And these are skills that you have for life, no matter what you're selling or what industry you're in, or if you pivot, no one can take these away from you. That's why I like teaching income generating skills, not just about the money, but it empowers you to know that you can make money and make impact and help people no matter what you do, because you're able to build a platform and get in front of so many more people by learning these things. Go to projectmewithtiffany.com/selling at scale. Swipe up. It's in the show notes. It's also in the description here on Project Me TV on YouTube. Wishing you great health, wealth, and worth and time travels. It's happening. Keep saying that. It's happening. It's happening. I release. I surrender. Love you so much.